Hey guys, it's your boy, Mr. Luke Evan Brooks. I hope everyone's doing well. Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome to the show. My name is Mr. Luke Evan Brooks. I hope everyone's doing well. We're going to talk about a topic that is really getting there. We talked about mortgages, right? We talked about the housing market earlier. Now we're going to talk about dealerships, right? Dealerships can't sell their cars. But before we do that, let's talk about something. If you already got a car or you got a few cars on your property, or you're just new to this whole thing about peer-to-peer sharing, I have a course for you. I developed a course that walk you A through Z on exactly what I'm doing to actually run my business remotely. No matter where you at around the world, as long as you have the internet, a laptop, you're good to go. So I'm telling you guys, check it out. It's at carsharegenius.com. The link is going to be down below in the description. Check it out, guys. If you're listening on the radio, again, it's carsharegenius.com. So let's go ahead and get into this comment here. Let's talk about this car dealerships can't sell their cars, because I saw something where people was like, hey, I'm not paying X, Y, and Z for a vehicle. So I'm looking at an article here from USA Today, and this came out a few days ago, but it's still pretty relevant, right? Came out on the 21st. They're talking about prices are holding at $49,000 for a vehicle. Brand new, right? And that's probably, you're talking about baseline, probably, or like, hey, a car that's basically got some decent stuff. Like, when I mean decent stuff, I'm talking about sunroof, heated seats, leather seats, tilt, cruise control, adaptive cruise control, blind spot detection, all that good stuff right there. And they're trying to push in this article here that, hey, people are trying to get these new cars, they're just not moving fast enough. We're getting some cars in and lowering the price on used cars. So good news is that if you want to get a used car, prices are tending to go down on it. But the bad news is they're not going down fast enough because of these cars, right? Because a lot of people ain't jumping out of their pants to go get a new car. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because they're looking at their money. With everything being high, mortgages being high, right? Rent being high, groceries, all this stuff that's going on right now. You got the nerve to come up to me and say, you want to get a new car, when people are holding on to their things a little bit longer. Not too long ago, we talked about it in another podcast where people are holding on their cars slightly longer than usual. They've never seen this before. People are holding on cars that are 12 years or older, right? They're holding on to these cars, and I'm one of those folks, right? Held on to both my cars. I have a 2011 Dodge Charger and I have a 2010 Chevrolet Camaro. They both look good. Look like they came off the finish line. I kept the cars looking good. So in my point, in my view, I wouldn't give the car unless I'm a type person. I got to have something new every time. And some people are like that, right? But I recommend, if you like that, you go with a lease. But for the folks looking at this, is that the bottom line is that they're having issues. Now they recommend cars like a Nissan Sentra, but a lot of people don't want a Nissan Sentra. I seen a guy who rented out my vehicle, 6'10", sitting in a Nissan Sentra, and I was kind of looking like, okay, because usually you don't see a tall person in a car like that. But to me, it worked for him, but he rented out the vehicle. But if you was to ask him, hey, would you buy this car and ride around for the rest of your time for the next 10, 12 years? He'd probably say absolutely not, right? Because people are looking at vehicles now to see how long can I keep this car. Now, unless the car being a total problem every time you put more money in, more money in, more money in, it becomes an issue. Now, there's a buildup, right? A lot of people are looking at some of these prices, with the inventory increasing and with the other prices going down, with used cars, folks are trying to figure out what's the best way to go. Right now, looking at the data, they're not jumping on to get a new car. They're not, because if it's going to cost an arm and a leg, no one's going to sit there and break themselves. Another factor too, remember we talked about the credit score and all that good stuff that's going on? Well, your credit score being jacked up, you're not getting the best deals. Additionally, banks are hard to shop with. They say, hey, this person's got like a 640 or a 620. You got to keep finding banks that be willing to work with you. You know, you're going to pay a high interest rate. And a lot of people are looking at alternate way. The alternate way is what I've been doing, is looking at cash cars, because with cash cars, there's benefits. If something goes wrong with these cash cars, right? You're not putting a whole arm and leg. You might put a few paychecks in there, maybe between 5 or 10 paychecks to just buy this vehicle, maybe less than that, to be honest with you, depending on what you get. Additionally, if you're using these type of vehicles on Turo or any peer-to-peer share company, you know, if it has an accident, you know you're going to more likely get all your money back depending on how much you pay. I never was a fan of financing a vehicle, because back in the day when I was younger, oh yeah, cool. But right now, you're looking at the factors, you're looking at the interest rate, you're looking at, hey, if I'm holding on this car for 3 to 5 years and something goes wrong, I might have a flip on this, right? Unless I get gap insurance. And these banks are not really letting up. They're not really making any incentives. And then additionally, you're looking at car manufacturers. They're not really issuing out rebates like they should. They shouldn't have an issue with these cars going off the lot if they would do right. They're looking at everything being high and say, why can't we get some? Instead of saying everything high, why don't we start luring people over here? If it was me, if I was the dealership, I'd be trying to lower prices as much as I can, you know, maybe at a break even, to be honest. And y'all might think that's crazy, but the reason being is that people are going to look at that. Another thing that's looming around in the corner is China, right? China, with their cheap cars, they saying you can get the same thing you got off this vehicle right here, but it comes from China. Right now, the U.S. is holding them at bay for now, to prevent them from bringing those cheap cars in there with doing tariffs. And basically, the tariff is supposed to bring up the price, but there's loop arounds around it. And a lot of people don't realize that, you know, if you build something within a country, you shouldn't be in a bad situation. You should be living it off and having a good time, to be honest with you. But with these dealerships, though, I'm telling you, like, some of them don't want to budge. Some of them say you got to pay this. This is the basic starting price of a decent car. And that's what they're saying in this article. And just looking at this, it's saying the total new inventory of cars.com marketplace rose to 2.3 million vehicles throughout the May, the highest level since December 2020, the car comparison site say. However, prices remain steady at approximately $49,000, consistent for the past 8 months, but down from 2023's 50,000. Not a lot, very low. But the whole thing is that when you're looking at this, you tell me at that rate, if we keep going by year, right? And that rate, I'll be able to afford a car in 10 years. That ain't adding up. And a lot of people are not going to wait for that. I think a lot of people are just going to do it the other way around. They're just going to go around and they're going to go ahead and get them a used car, because you do have options with used cars. Used cars are very, very affordable at a certain time, because if you're looking at the fall, you're looking at when people are trying to trade up, and you might have some people go buying new stuff. You'll be able to get a good deal. Additionally, if you're talking to a private owner, that's even better deal. That doesn't factor nothing like that in this article right here. When they talk about used cars, they're talking about a used car dealership or a certified used car at a dealership. They're not talking about, hey, let me go talk to Bobby Joe over here because I want to buy his truck, or I want to talk to Marcus over here because he's got his car I want to buy. They're not talking about any of those things right there. So you have to be mindful with looking at these articles right here, because they're trying to make it seem like, oh, the prices are going down, but you just heard how much difference that was. That wasn't not much difference. The real difference is the drop it by 10,000 or 15,000. So guys, let me know what your thoughts are in this article. Again, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to go to carsharegenius.com. You can go there. You definitely see what I'm offering to help you get around all this nonsense and get more money in your pocket instead of losing money. Again, guys, thank you again. I see you next time. Take care. Peace.